Most of us were taught in school that Plymouth, Massachusetts was the site of the first Thanksgiving. But history tells a different story. The first Thanksgiving actually took place in Virginia, over a year before the Pilgrims even set foot in New England. On September 16, 1619, the Margaret, a 35-foot ship, departed Bristol, England, bound for the New World. On board were 35 settlers, a crew, 5 captain's assistants, and Captain John Woodleaf, a seasoned leader who had already survived the harsh starving time in Jamestown. Their mission, funded by the Berkeley Company, was to establish a settlement along the James River. The settlers would work the land and turn over profits and crops to the company. After a long and treacherous 2.5 months at sea, the Margaret entered the Chesapeake Bay on November 28. A week later, on December 4th, they finally reached their destination, Berkeley 100, now known as Berkeley Plantation. The settlers' first act upon arrival was one of gratitude. Following the Berkeley Company's written orders, they knelt on the shores of the James River and gave thanks for their safe passage. This was the first Thanksgiving in America, not a feast, but a solemn act of prayer and reflection. Unlike the festive image of the Plymouth Thanksgiving that features shared meals and fellowship with Native Americans, this Thanksgiving focused on survival and faith. Historians believe the settlers' meal was modest, consisting of old ship provisions, possibly oysters and ham. This meal, born of necessity, was far from the grand feasts we associate with the holiday today. Yet it reflected the resilience and determination of those early settlers, who saw their survival as a divine blessing worth commemorating. The settlers planned to make this Thanksgiving an annual tradition, with the Berkeley Company mandating that the day of their arrival be yearly and perpetually kept holy as a day of thanksgiving to Almighty God. For 2 years, the settlers honored this tradition. However, their hopes were dashed on March 22, 1622, when the Powhatan Confederacy launched a coordinated attack on English settlements. Frustrated by the settlers' expanding presence and conversion efforts, the Powhatan killed 347 settlers, including many at Berkeley. Captain Woodleaf survived, but Berkeley 100 was abandoned, and its history was lost for more than 300 years. The story of Virginia's first Thanksgiving might have remained forgotten if not for a serendipitous discovery in 1931. Dr. Lyon G. Tyler, retired president of William and Mary and son of U.S. President John Tyler, uncovered the Nibley Papers while researching early Virginia history. These documents, created by John Smith of Nibley, Gloucestershire, detailed the 1619 settlement of Berkeley and the Thanksgiving observance. Tyler shared his findings with Malcolm Jameson, the then owner of Berkeley Plantation, reigniting interest in the site's historical significance. In 1958, descendants of Captain John Woodleaf and local historians established the Virginia Thanksgiving Festival to honor this forgotten moment in history. Held annually at Berkeley Plantation, the festival celebrates the first Thanksgiving with historical reenactments, educational exhibits, and community gatherings. Each year, hundreds of people attend, reclaiming Virginia's place in Thanksgiving lore. Yet, Virginia's story has often taken a backseat to the more popular Plymouth narrative. As Graham Woodleaf, a descendant of Captain Woodleaf and current president of the Virginia Thanksgiving Festival, explains, "They had better PR than we did." Plymouth's Thanksgiving emphasizes a festive harvest meal, making it more appealing to popular culture. In contrast, Virginia's story focuses on prayer and reflection, which aligns more closely with the religious roots of Thanksgiving, but lacks the celebratory imagery. Throughout the 20th century, Virginia advocates worked tirelessly to set the record straight. Senator John J. Wicker Jr. became one of the most vocal proponents, lobbying for Virginia's claim to the first Thanksgiving. In a memorable moment, Wicker appeared on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, dressed in 17th century settler attire, to share the story with a national audience. His efforts eventually caught the attention of President John F. Kennedy. In his 1963 Thanksgiving proclamation, Kennedy acknowledged both Virginia and Massachusetts, stating, "Over 3 centuries ago, our forefathers in Virginia and in Massachusetts, far from home in a lonely wilderness, set aside a time of Thanksgiving." Today, Berkeley Plantation stands as a reminder of this often overlooked piece of American history. Visitors can walk the grounds, learn about the settlers' journey, and participate in the Virginia Thanksgiving Festival. The festival, now held on the first Sunday of November to avoid the colder December weather, serves as a celebration of resilience, faith, and historical truth. While Plymouth may dominate the Thanksgiving narrative, the true story began in Virginia. The settlers' gratitude, courage, and commitment to honoring their survival laid the foundation for a tradition that continues to unite Americans to this day. As we celebrate Thanksgiving, let us remember Berkeley Plantation, where the story of Thanksgiving truly began.